Good evening, everyone. I think we should start the session. I would like to invite Ritesh Saraf. He's a startup cell co-lead at TiE Surat and the founder of GHMC Private Limited. Over to you, sir. We can
Yeah,
begin the session.
yeah. Thank you, Hardik, so much. Happy evening to all of you. I'll repeat, I am Ritesh Saraf, co-lead startup cell TiE Surat and founder of GHMC Private Limited. I would request, first of all, everyone, please, make your audio on a mute mode so that, it will be easy for us to, interact also. And whenever required, you can use chat box and we'll unmute you. Fine. So, warm welcome to all the TiE Surat chapter board members, charter members, and associate members, entrepreneurs and startup founders and co-founders. Wish you all a very happy new year. May this year bring a lot of funding, fundraising, business expansions, and new startups in our Surat. And thing has already started. We got to know last week from Vapi, holistic hair care platform, Traya, has reached $2.2 millions. I mean, the race has started actually. So a lot to go. Friends, we all have gathered here today, together for Knowledge Series program. TiE Surat is presenting a second Knowledge Series program, which aims to create and contribute to the entrepreneurial ecosystem. Knowledge Series program consists of curated presentations, interactive sessions, and panel discussion with key decision makers. Last month we had TiE, Surat Knowledge Series program, which was organized in association with Assign SV and IT. And we had a panel discussion on fundraising and its pros and cons. Today we will have interactive session on business modeling. So you all know that every business requires a plan for generating profit, identifying products and services to sell, the market to target, and anticipated expenses, and also updating our plans and strategies for the existing organizations and knowing the challenges and the trends for future actions. Let's have a better understanding of these and answer the questions like how and where business modeling helps. Why am I not able to cater to everyone who approaches me? Are my products and services aligned to my customers? What kind of vendors do I select? We will know all this from our speaker for the day. Before that, let's know about our speaker. Do you know somebody who has an age or an experience of 27 years at an age of 39? Well, his entrepreneurial spirit kindled at the age of 12 and is still going strong. He is management graduate and done executive education from Indian Institute of Management, Ahmedabad. He is green belt in Six Sigma and lean management. A man working for multinational banks for around 9 years observed how small organizations toil and suffer to grow their businesses. So he started a consulting firm focusing on the business growth of small and medium enterprises. As a dynamic business consultant and a founder of Mountain Monk Consulting, a lover of business ethics, Mr. Ashfaq Calcuttawala has different versions of his bio all over the place. You can imagine some are more formal than others, but it comes to his passion about transforming the traditional business practices to global standards. He never stays back. Mountain Monk Consulting, which boasts of an enviable list of clients from manufacturing, textile, retail, real estate, and professional services, has clients across the country from Bangalore to Delhi, Maharashtra, and of course, Gujarat. He is an avid networker, which has led him to become assistant area director for world's largest business networking organization, BNI Badoli. And he's also lead for TiE Knowledge Series. His motto for business is pretty simple: Business is not about ideas, but about the execution of those ideas. So here comes time when we need to invite our speaker for the day, Mr. Ashfaq Calcuttawala. Mr. Ashfaq, all to you.
Hey, thanks, Ritesh. Thanks for an amazing introduction. And yes, there are a lot of things जो मुझे भी नहीं अच्छी लगती है, but somehow I know लोगों को मेरे बारे में पता होती है. So thank you so much for the lovely introduction. And yes, guys, today's session is जैसे मैंने लिखा था. In fact, we wanted to do it physical, but of course, God forbid, हमारे हाथ में नहीं था to do it and just start a session on online. We are taking the session online and let's move ahead with this presentation. But मैं presentation शुरू करूँ उससे पहले मैंने जब सेशन में लिखा था वही दो चीजें मैं फिर से दोहराना चाहूंगा. सबसे पहली चीज, मुझे सत्संग पसंद नहीं है. So when I say सत्संग, मैं सिर्फ बोलता रहूं और आप लोग ऐसे सुनते रहो, वो मुझे अच्छा नहीं लगेगा. So I would need a lot of interaction during this entire meeting. And just सबसे पहले I would request everyone to just write hi in the chat box. Just write hi in the chat box ताकि मुझे पता चले आप सबका ध्यान मेरी तरफ है. I am an attention seeker. पूरे 1.5 घंटे आप लोगों का attention खींच कर रहने वाला हूँ. So I hope best of luck to you guys to bear me for 1.5 hours for going further. Yeah. So I got almost okay. The highs are increasing. Thanks Dhaval bhai. Thanks Vinit. Then thanks a lot everyone. So there are a lot of people which are present, and there are those who are absent. Please type hi in the chat box so that I know you are in this session and not somewhere else. And I will ask a second question before you guys stop answering your hi. Okay. The question itself is self-explanatory because आज का session उसके ऊपर dependent है. The session is based on that. What is business modeling, right? लेकिन मैं वो नहीं पूछना चाहूँगा. Chat box में आप answer दे सकते हो, or you can raise your hand one by one. I can take only 5 answers if you are raising your hand. What is a business model according to you? आपके हिसाब से what is a business model? Hi and Venkatesh, I just need an answer to that. What according to you is a business model? And trust me, आज का पूरा सेशन आप लोग ऐसे ही करने वाले हो, और मैं ये मानता हूँ मुझे बिजनेस मॉडलिंग नहीं आता है, आप लोग मुझे सिखाने वाले हो. So yeah, please raise your hand. I'll unmute you. Before that, I'm just muting everyone right now. If you want to speak, you can raise your hand. Or else just write in the chat box, what according to you is business model? Okay, innovation of business strategy. Wow, amazing answer. Long time problem ना हो ऐसा कुछ strategy बनाना. That is what business modeling is. Okay. Long time में अपने business में problem नहीं होगी तो उसको business model बना देना. Okay. Some plan that helps us keep going and growing. Okay, Dharmendra, I'll take that as an answer. But then yes. How you sell your product or service to the customer, B2B or B2C. So basically, according to Amit Maheshwar, it is about selling your product to your either B2B or B2C, whatever it is. Business model canvas. Okay, I have heard a technical term now. Business model canvas gives the detail about the innovation to improve your business. Fantastic. Business model means SOP of whole business. Very nice answer, Amir Gagan. And okay, I think someone else is writing. I'll just wait for one more or maybe 30 more seconds and I'll move ahead with the next question. Business model means SOP of the whole business. I like the answer because आज तक किसी ने दिया नहीं है. No one has answered me in the same way. So that's pretty innovative. Okay, so taking a cue from whatever has been written right now, how many of you think business model is equivalent of business strategy? Because someone wrote, right? Someone wrote innovation of business strategy. So business strategy ka innovation is business model. How many of you think? Answer yes or no, fatafat in the chat box. How many of you think?
Discovering. Pairing successful.
All right, I am muting Tarini Batra. Okay. So there are most of the guys are writing yes. Okay, no's are about to be equivalent of yeses. All right, yes, yes. Okay, come on, guys, fast. So there are 4 yeses and 2 no's. I want at least 10-15 answers, guys. I wanted to know whether all of you are here in the room or somewhere else. And this is what is proving it. All right, no, yes. Kunal is writing no. I am this sort of a guy. I like playing with people's mind. Okay, Mayuri is writing no. All right, Amir, you were okay. For according to Amir, it was selling. That is what is business model can business model. So its answer is no. Of course, it has to be no. Okay. All right, guys. So just answering your question. Just answering the question. Business model, or developing a business model is a part of strategy. It is a part of strategy, but it is not strategy. I repeat the word. Developing a business model is a part of your strategy. It is not a business strategy. And over here, you will get a lot of answers for making a business strategy by having a clear picture of your business model. So this is something that we all need to understand in a very clear way, that business model, developing a business model is not developing business strategy. It will help you answer a lot of questions for your business strategy. And yeah, so because when I, as a business consultant, make a lot of business strategies for a client, they also come up with the same mindset. That either they will get one thing, two things, these are certain parts of a business model, and then they say this is what my strategy is all about. So strategy is not about only differentiating yourself. Strategy is not about only running a price war. Strategy is something completely different from what your business model has to be. So now, yes, according to you, I know. How many of you know how to raise a hand? Can anybody raise a hand in the chat box? Or just during this meeting, except Hardik, because I know Hardik will know how to raise a hand. Yes, Mahesh has raised a hand. So many people know how to raise a hand. Now I'm lowering all hands, or in fact, I want every one of you to lower your hands, and I want one person to raise the hand. I want one person to raise the hand. In fact, everyone who is really passionate about their business. All right, I see Rajiv Khandelia and Amit Maheshwari. I know after it was Royal Post Mayuri, but then I'll take. I can see the video of Amit, so I'll take Amit as my bunny for the day. Amit, I have a question for you. Amit Maheshwari.
Hello.
Yeah, hi Amit. How are you?
Yeah, I'm fine. How are you doing?
Yeah, I am fantastic. Just coming back to the point, because else I would have continued for the formalities for next 10 minutes, but then just coming to the point. Okay, you are passionate about your business. What do you do? Can you just explain to everyone out here?
Yeah, we are into IT export and we are serving like global clients.
Okay. So you are into IT exports, right?
Right.
Great. And how many years you have been into business?
From last 13 years.
From last 13 years. Have you made a business model for yourself?
Very rough model and want to learn that.
Okay, very rough model. क्या use किया था आपने? कैसे बनाया था वो?
Like what is the target audience and how to reach them, and that's all.
Okay, so you have a target audience in mind, and how are you going to reach them, right?
Right.
Great. So can you answer what is your target audience, Amit?
So our target audience is either marketing agency in US, UK, or maybe agencies like us who need white level service. So that is Chinese target audience we are looking for, who have constant work with themselves, but they cannot do everything on their own.
All right. Sorry, how did you came to this target audience?
So from reaching here to again to B2B client, like some industry or is a challenging work, because
no. My question is how did you identify that marketing company or companies like you are your target audience?
Maybe by gut feeling, or maybe
Okay, gut
from
feeling.
past experience. Yeah, past experience working with them. So I will get
Yeah.
repetitive work.
All right, fantastic. So I'll take an amazing answer for, this is what the learning should be. It is from the past experience that you understood what your target audience is, right? Great. So yes, I have a question for everyone, and I need के वो chat box भर दो आप लोग सब, in the business. Business चलाने के लिए, to run a business, customers are necessary. बिजनेस को आगे बढ़ाने के लिए कस्टमर्स बहुत जरूरी है. प्लीज राइट डाउन यस और नो इन द टेक्स्ट, इन द चैट बॉक्स. Yes, 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 yes. Kunal is writing yes, Dhaval is writing yes, fantastic. Come on, guys, there are almost more than 50 participants. So many yeses, right? What if I say that it is the answer to this is no? And I want to challenge someone for this. Is there anyone who is in the room who wants to say, okay, business चलाने के लिए customer जरूरी नहीं है? No one? Okay. Guys, just picking it up from what Amit said, business चलाने के लिए, to run a business, customers are not important. Target customers are really important. So you do not need a customer who can come just once in a while and just he wakes up and he comes to your business. No, you need a targeted customer. And this is the first part of business model. You need to understand what is your business model and you need to understand what is your target customer. Now, when I started a business, so this is how the interaction is supposed to be. इसीलिए मैं आपके साथ बहुत सारा interaction कर रहा हूँ so that you understand the concepts of business model rather than a tool or something to develop. वो हम लोग करेंगे. I'm sure I'm going to share a slide with you, but that's a part of it. But the major idea is to have a discussion like this so that you guys get a lot of, your doubts get clear in next 1 hour or so. Yeah. So question again is another question. I hope everyone understood the point when I said you do not need a customer to run a business. You need a target customer or a target audience to run a business. If your target audience is clear, you are too much closer to success. Your success, the chances of your success are better than someone else. Maybe, it can be something else. So I'll ask another question to Amit on the same note. Amit, so, before you started, you had a customer. Before even you had a customer, you had something in mind, right? Or you had something in what do you call that? The product or a service?
Yes, service. So yeah, we had few customers. Maybe we just started. Then by reference we got few customers. But yeah, we have that in mind. We have service good at our services, so we'll get customer by reaching them.
All right, great. So you already thought of that these are the services that you wanted to provide to other customers, and these customers will take, this kind of customers will take its services. Over a period of time, one single set of clients used to come repeatedly to you, and you realize this is your target customer. Am I right or am I wrong, Amit?
Yes, you are right.
Right? Guys, मैं और कोई भाषा कोई टेक्निकल वर्ड यूज नहीं कर रहा हूं. मैं आपको सिर्फ ये समझाना चाहता हूं कि ओवर अ पीरियड ऑफ टाइम यू डेवलप योर टारगेट कस्टमर बेस्ड ऑन योर प्रोडक्ट और सर्विस और योर आइडिया. Am I right, Amit?
Yeah, for me it's right.
All right. So second question would be to Mayuri Ruparel because she was the second person who answered once. Mayuri, are you there? Yeah, hi Mayuri. So question again is the same to you. When you started in mind, did you have a customer in mind or did you had a product in mind?
Both the things. First, we were only targeting to restaurants, but then gradually we pivoted to retail businesses also. So those two target audience are always in the mind. So as you correctly mentioned, that target audience is important than the customers.
All right. So your value proposition is, let's not use value proposition as a word, was what technical ho jayega for a lot of people, but then your product or a service that you wanted to give to the people, to the client was already in your mind that this is what I am going to provide to people, right?
Yes, yes.
All right. कोई ऐसा है इस पूरे के पूरे group के अंदर, I want everyone to raise a hand if he has an answer yes to this. कोई है ऐसा इस ग्रुप के अंदर जिसके पास कस्टमर डिफाइंड था कि मेरा ये टारगेट कस्टमर है लेकिन प्रोडक्ट और सर्विस डिफाइंड नहीं था? बहुत डिफिकल्ट क्वेश्चन है. मेरे पास कोई प्रोडक्ट सर्विस नहीं है, मेरे पास सिर्फ एक टारगेट ऑडियंस डिफाइंड है. Was there anyone? No? I'll wait for 15 seconds more and then I'll move ahead. All right, Nisha.
Yeah, hi Ashfaq. So
Hi.
I think, when I started my business, the first thing that I always had in mind was that I had this target audience in mind, my target customer, wherein I could see a pain point, wherein there was this requirement of I could see a disconnect between the people who were looking forward to enter to the industry, but they were not really well groomed, well polished. So I was trying to figure out what exactly are the challenges that they are facing, and based on that was my next step, wherein I actually customized the content for them and then developed my service, which related to the why of that pain point. So I think for me, when I began my journey, it was more about first identifying my target audience and understanding what exactly were their problems, their challenges, and then I created my service.
Yes, fantastic, fantastic, Nisha. I'm pretty impressed with that. And I'll tell you guys, this is the second way to start your business. Yes, I am being very honest with you. This is the second way to start your business. The first way was you had a product or service in mind, and you might need to pivot if you have a product or service in mind, and you might not cater to the right kind of people in mind. Then you pivot to a target audience based on the product or services, or sometimes you already have a product or a service, you already have a target audience in mind. Let's say Nisha's target audience is corporate. So she already knew corporates are this is the lacuna, and I will add value in this kind of premises. And I'll create an entire content or my training modules in this kind of set of things. So this is the second way you can start your business or a services. And you will not even imagine ये सारी चीजें आपने की है, and that is a part of a business model, right? So I'm not about to talk about those technical stuff that you would already have thought of, or you would have, thought that I would be teaching you or I'll be telling you. I'm just about to use the common language that a person is using or doing in his day-to-day life, which we all call as business model, right? So now again, the next question. Do you like the questions, or I just wo satsang wala shuru karu? I hope sabko everyone would love these questions. All right. So next question. Yeah. How did you, let's say I want a raise of hands first. Then I'll ask a question. Who is second most passionate about their business? Because we got the passionate ones. Raise of hands, please. Koi apna raise hand raise. Okay, Preeti has raised the hand, and Kunal. So first question to Preeti. Preeti, the question is, आप yes, आप अपने पहले कस्टमर के पास कैसे पहुंचे थे?
पहले कस्टमर के पास, like it was like friends and family was the first customer for me. So I just talked about what I am going to start. Like before starting my business, I got my first customer. Was like.
All right, fantastic. So even before you started, you had your first customer, right?
It was like mouth publicity or maybe talking to each other. So kind of verbal marketing. Okay. And, how did you deliver your product to that guy? How did you discuss about your product or, your diamonds to that person? So because we started a lab-grown diamond jewelry business, and before starting, I was just discussing about it, like this is something different diamond, and we are bringing this new concept to the Surat. So it was like a verbal communication. Right. And once we started our business, she was like, no, I just wanted to buy. So before we open our showroom, she was like, I will be your first customer. And I think first 5 customer for me was like that only, because I discussed our idea with them before we start our product manufacturing. All right. And next question is to Kunal. Kunal?
Yeah, hi Ashfaq bhai.
Yes, hi. I'm okay. So Kunal, question is pretty simple. How did you discuss your product to your customer?
Yeah, so the first customer that I spoke to was actually one of I'm building ActivePass, which is an activity discovery and booking platform. So we cater to kids' extracurricular activities, and one of our first customers that I spoke to was my daughter was going to this badminton class, and I just spoke to parents who were also bringing their kids to that particular badminton class, and I just wanted to build a service around that. So I spoke to a bunch of parents and basically built understood what they wanted, what they thought was missing, and me being a parent helped a bit. And yeah, that is how I got my first set of customers.
Fantastic. Again, word of mouth, right?
Yes.
Okay. And now, how do you talk to your clients? How do you get your clients?
Word of mouth is still a big source of new customers for us, but every now and then we also do Facebook ads.
Okay, you do Facebook ads and you do, that is what I understand is digital marketing or social media marketing.
Yes.
Okay. Anything else that you do other than that?
We also keep doing free webinars for our customers or prospective customers, I would say. Basically building a community around and speaking to parents directly of how extracurricular activities are important and what they can do to get their child for their overall development.
Okay, great. So yes, again, the same question is for Preeti. Preeti, how do you now get clients now? What do you do for your clients now to get new clients now?
As discussed, like from the digital marketing, offline marketing, we do exhibition and showcase around the city whenever it's possible. And also the existing customer are bringing the new customer because they already have made the jewelry with us. So they talk around their family and friends and then they're bringing it. So I think for us, a lot of current customer are coming like that only. So maybe reference or referral customer.
Okay, so you are doing again the same thing in terms of, let's say, marketing, in terms of social media, digital marketing, and this is how you are getting clients. And if
Yes.
I'm not wrong, you did one more event, maybe a couple of months back.
Yeah, that's what I told. Like offline event, which we do just showcasing our exhibition of our products. So we do that also, and that also bring a lot of awareness and marketing for us, and bringing a lot of customer to showroom.
All right, guys. So what I wanted to tell to every one of you is, it's in a simple language is, there are ways through which customers become aware about our product or our services. Those ways are called our delivery channels. Two things. One is they are getting aware of my product or a service, and they are getting my product or a service. It can be a social media, it can be a delivery, it can be eating the food, it can be anything. These are the two parts. So this part of the business, when I said, well, there was a customer, he ordered some product or a service from me, he received it. This awareness that he created, this entire method through which he received my product or a service, is what we call as delivery channels or nothing else. This is the delivery channel. It happens only in two ways. Either the customer receives the product or a service, or he gets aware about my product or a services. All right. Now I would like to share something. Let me see if I can do it for you guys or not. There is a whiteboard here. And I hope to all of you, the whiteboard is audible, right? I mean visible. So if there is my product or a service, and this is my target customer, one question which I would like to ask every one of you is, let's say he ordered my product or a services and he came back, right? He never came back during his entire life once again. कभी वो आया ही नहीं वापस से मेरे पास वो प्रोडक्ट और सर्विस खरीदने के लिए. Write down in the chat box क्या मेरा business चलेगा. Customer purchases once and he never comes back to you. Do you think your business will run after that? I know the answer. Every one of us would know the answer, right? Okay, Amit has written it can run. Okay. Definitely it is going to run. Fantastic. It is more a hunting business. Yes, you will have to put a lot of effort to find another kind of a customer जो आपके पास ये काम करेगा. So one thing that you would like to do is in the जीवन में एक ही बार कस्टमर बनाया, एक कस्टमर ने एक बार सर्विस लिया, फिर दूसरा कस्टमर ढूंढना पड़ेगा, फिर तीसरा कस्टमर ढूंढना पड़ेगा, right? But if I do, what do I do in my business? What do I do in my business so that the customer keeps on coming to me for the product or services? He keeps on coming to me for the product or services. And this is what we call as my customer relationship management. Right? If the customer just comes once in a lifetime, your customer acquisition cost will be sky high and you will not be able to survive or sustain the business for the long term. But if I do something in the business through which the customer comes repeatedly to me, that is what I call as customer relationship management, nothing else. So I'm closing the whiteboard again and I'm coming back to all of you. Yeah, I hope you guys got the point, right? This part of the business, जहाँ पे मैंने आपको दिखाया, customer ने purchase order दिया, customer आया, customer took it from me and went out, is called the revenue part of the business, because here I am going to generate a lot of revenue. Am I right or am I wrong? Right? Yes. So this part of the business, this side of the business, which we already discussed, is going to generate a lot of referrals for me, a lot of business for me, and a lot of revenue for me. It can be, I am not talking about what should be your pricing strategy and everything, but this part of the business is revenue generating, and that is what we call it as revenue part of the business. Now, I have one question. Again to Amit or anyone else who would like to raise a hand. I'll wait for 10 seconds. If anyone raises a hand, I'm going to ask the question to him. Else, I'll go to Amit. Except Amit, Preeti, Kunal, and Mayuri. Yes, Mahesh.
Yeah.
Mahesh and Dinesh. Mahesh, so the question is pretty simple to you. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah. Is there anyone else who is?
Yeah, on a second chair, my colleague is there.
Okay, so there is a lot of.
We can skip.
So I'll move to the next participant in that case, and I'll ask Dinesh on that. In that case, Dinesh, the question to you is, Dinesh, what do you do?
So, Ashfaq, I'm into my own financial consultancy. Basically, I'm into mentoring of startups and into MSMEs and all that. I come from corporate background. I'm not a what you call regular chartered accountant who is into GST or income tax. I don't do that. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So what kind of vendors do you have in your business? Dinesh.
Vendors meaning my suppliers?
Yes, your suppliers.
These are basically routine guys and also super specialized guys who can do super specialized jobs.
Okay, so let's stick to the generic version of it, because for the benefit of the people out here. Yeah. Who would be your general supplier? I know any in terms of that comes to your mind. Vendor.
So general vendor would be any training person, anybody who can do normal PPT, analytics. These are my general vendors.
Vendors, right? Yeah. So during the entire business, kabhi aisa hua hai, Dinesh, did it ever happen that this kind of people used to change and now you have stabilized and finalized a couple of people over a period of years?
So surprisingly, Ashfaq, my case is little different. I'm less than 365 days old into this consultancy.
Okay.
Yeah. So I think I'm into a phase where I'm settling down. So I'm into my first year of my business.
All right, fantastic.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll ask Mayuri again to the same question. मयूरी, कभी ऐसा हुआ है कि आपके सप्लायर या वेंडर आपको अपने स्टार्टिंग में जो रखे थे वो जाते जाते चेंज हो गए, नाउ यू फाइनलाइज वन काइंड ऑफ पर्सन फॉर दैट?
For ours is like IT business, so we don't have any person who is supplying any kind of.
But then the software developer or the software team that you.
Yes, sir, software team we have. Software team we have. They are with us since 2015. So
fantastic.
Since 7 years they are with us.
Fantastic. But before that, did you have anyone else and you shifted to vendors or no?
No, because I was working. I had a corporate.
Fantastic. So I think so. I'll just answer your question. Answer this question in a different way. over a period of time, you will identify, let's say, for example, I have a hardware business and my hardware, I need certain kind of services. For that kind of a service, even if it is, let's say if I am going to purchase a diary like this or anything that comes to my mind. Initially, when I used to find a vendor, the vendor could not give me the services that I expected. The pricing was really amazing, but he could not serve me the kind of service that I expected from him. Right? What happened? My internet service provider changed. My software developer changed. My brand consultant changed. My everything changed over a period of years. Why? Maybe I did not know at the first when I started my business that these are the kind of people that I need, or this is the kind of services that I'm expecting. But after a point of time, I realized, okay, this is the place where I will be sitting as an office, and this is at least the bare minimum bandwidth in terms of technology, infrastructure, human, and my vendor selection, or at least including my chartered accountant. I would like to have this kind of people within my vicinity, and I'm going to work with only this kind of things. This kind of partner, this kind of people who help me do a lot of my back-end work are called my channel partners or my key partners in the business. Right? But then why I share this entire story with you is, you over a period of time will find the partner which is suitable for your business model and not you. I hope you guys are understanding the perspective, right? You will keep on changing the vendor. The reason is not that he is not performing good, but he does not suit your business model. Nothing else. And the moment you change your vendor or your business partner, either of the two things will change. Either your product or service will change, or your target customer will change over a period of years. And you will not even realize that. Why? Because your business model has a habit of improving itself over a period of time, even without your realizing it. Right? So yes, whatever Mayuri said is right. Our vision, the vendor should be in sync with our vision, or our vision should be in sync with our vendors. और ऐसे ही लोग मिलेंगे. आप चेक करो, आप सस्ता ढूंढने जाओगे, आपको सर्विस नहीं मिलेगी, आप बोलोगे पिछले वाला ही अच्छा था. आप अच्छा ढूंढने जाओगे, आपको लगेगा ये नहीं, वो वाला ही बेटर है because वो अच्छा है, या फिर वो सस्ता है. Whatever that suits your business model is going to end up being your vendor. Right? And during doing these things, for example, मुझे अपना product और service develop करने के time पे, if I am a software developer or something like that, I might need to do a lot of activities. Let's say testing, bugs, identification, right? Alpha, beta, A to B testing, soft marketing, right? Hiring and salaries, rentals, बहुत सारी चीजें करनी पड़ती है, right? I do all these activities. These all activities are called my key activities. And these activities are never going to be possible without the resources that you have. Right? So you need to have two things in mind. One is your key activities that you're going to do for your business. And second, which is your key resources. Like for me, my office or this laptop through which I'm working with you guys is a resource, is my key resource. My mobile is a key resource. My team, my human is a resource for me. My IT infrastructure is a resource for me, right? So I need resources which will do those key activities for me. And that is why those resources are called key resources for me. Now you see whatever I discussed with you guys since last, let's say 40 minutes or 45 minutes, 40 minutes precisely. Whatever I discussed with you guys, right? और उसमें से जो अभी वाला portion, first portion was generating a lot of revenue for me. This portion where I discuss about my vendors, which I discuss about my activities and my resource, is going to incur me a lot of expenses and a cost, right? So this side of the business is called the cost business. And this entire thing, my friends, this entire thing which we have discussed in last 35 minutes is a business model. From where am I going to create the product and how am I going to deliver it to my target customer? How am I going to generate my revenue and what are the expenses I'm going to bear is a business model, nothing else, right? It is the basic of it. And just to share with you guys, there is one tool which was developed by Alexander Osterwalder and Yves Pignor. I am going to share the entire canvas with you, which is they call as business model canvas. And there are a lot of ways to generate those canvas, but then I'm just sharing the canvas with you so that we all remain on the same page. So I am just about to start a PowerPoint presentation. Let it start. Yeah, so I'm sharing the presentation with you guys. Now, what these guys developed is, मैं उसको आपको थोड़ा अच्छे से लैंग्वेज में समझाना चाहूंगा. Now it's time for the theory for all of you. Previously, I shared the entire story in your own words so that you guys can understand the concepts well. So, what is a business model canvas? So, the mission that you are holding is your value proposition. These are the questions you need to ask for yourself. What value do we deliver to the customer? Which one of our customer problems are we helping to solve? Right? I'm just going a bit faster for the benefit of everyone. You can take a picture once the entire slide is through. I'll give you 1 minute after that. This is what we discuss about our customers. Right? For whom are we creating the value? Who are our most important customers? Which is your customer segment or your target segment that you want to develop your business through? Next point is what I said was your delivery channels and customer relationships. Right? These are the things that make money for me, and that is why my revenue part stays here. Now you have to, when you make strategy, you have to define how am I going to make my revenue work for me? How am I going to generate revenue? When I said you needed partners, this is how your partners are. These are the activities that you need to do. What are the resources that you are going to need? And these are the things which are going to cost you. And now you can take a picture. Do you know the beauty of this thing is you can develop, you can design, or you can define your business in one single page. This is the beauty of a business model canvas. And I'll share my own story now, which will, I think so, help a lot of us understanding the stuff. So every one of you would be knowing by now that I'm a business consultant by profession. And yes, my core idea is to execute a lot of stuff in a simple way rather than complicating things. So even when I started a business as a business consultant, I thought that everyone in the world can be my business, can be my client. Everyone in the world who has a business can be my client. The first book that I read after becoming a business consultant was the same Business Model Generation by Alexander Osterwelder and Davis Pignor. And my mindset changed and I realized that everyone in the world cannot be my customer. The reason behind that is either he needs something else which I cannot provide, first. Second, he will not be able to afford my fees. Third, I am not as easy or at its proximity jahan pe wo hai. Despite having clients in Bangalore, Delhi, Gurgaon, Maharashtra, of course in Gujarat, in last 8 years, I always thought that this is going to happen. Why? Because there are, like for example, when I say a customer segment for me would be someone who has at least 10 to 15 people in his team, else the entire delegation model will fail for him, or the entire growth model will fail for him. These are some things which I already realized after I understood the business model. So sometimes you will see a lot of customers that are in your premises or with you, you will lose them. The reason behind that is they do not fit your business model the way it should fit. Nothing else. The moment you understand this stuff, you will try to identify and you will try to get more clients of your target audience. And that is going to grow your business multiple times. This is what has always happened. Sometimes you do it knowingly, sometimes you do it unknowingly. कभी कभी ये आप ये चीजें जानकर करते हो, कभी कभी ये चीजें अनजाने में करते हो. जैसे मैंने बताया, आप सबके पास ये सारी चीजें थी, किसी ने जान के बनाई थी, किसी ने अनजाने में बनाई थी, बट हर किसी ने ये चीज बनाई थी, right? So just sharing this entire model in a typical way, let's say in an animated way, this is how it goes. So you have a value proposition, you have a customer segment, you have a customer relationship, you have your delivery channels which are going to generate revenue for you. But to develop this entire value proposition, you need to do the key activities through your resources, and these two things you are going to have for, you are going to need your key partners, and this thing is going to cost you. It is as simple as that. Right? So I've explained the entire business model canvas in, let's say, 45 minutes, and I am open for questions now if you have anything in particular.
Anyone who has got a question, friends, you can even put in the chat box, or you can directly also, you can put question to Ashfaq. So anyone? So fine, by the time, you know, others ask, you know, I have a question, you know, by the time, you know, others ask, you know, like developing, you know, or preparing, you know, business business, you know, BMC, you know, what do you think, you know, are the disadvantages attached to it? Because anything when has got advantages, definitely, you know, hand in hand, some disadvantage will move, right? So
Yeah.
can you highlight something on those?
Yeah, so you know, the biggest disadvantage as per the authors of business model canvas and any business model which I share to you, there are multiple ways to do a lot of businesses. In fact, this model also has a lot of patterns, like there is a hook and bait model, there is a freemium model, there is a, you know, there are a lot of things which I can share with you. But then just to sticking to the point, the business model canvas has one biggest disadvantage. It only works, yes, I repeat, it only works when a business wants to make profits. So it does not work for an NGO. It does not work for a government organization. This entire canvas, why? Because there is a cost side and there is a revenue side to it. It is not about the expenses part of it, right? And I'll again share one thing pretty interesting. And I know I'll appreciate Ritesh for the question. I'll share one thing pretty interesting. And every one of us, in fact, that was again a key learning for me when I read the book and when I started implementing this for my client. Just sharing it once again with every one of you. Yeah. So did you ever see, even आप कहीं पे भी अपना business model बनाने जाओगे ना, so one of the key activities is sales. One of the key activities is sales, but sales is just one activity that you do for your business, and it is not anything more than another activity. Like production is an activity, sales is an activity. It is, I hope you are understanding it. आप देखोगे पूरे business model में मैंने कहीं पे भी sale word use ही नहीं किया है. The reason is I need to understand that I need to generate revenue to run the business, and I do not need to do sale to run the business. This is again a key understanding for the business model. Right? Just as you do production, just as you do accounting, just as you do anything else, you have to do sale. Of course, you know, sale is an important activity compared to those. The reason is it is going to generate a lot of revenue for me. But the major idea is how do I generate revenue? For example, Google generates revenue through a freemium model, right? What do I say freemium model? Freemium model is aapka core service or a product is free. Does Google charge you with anything? No. When you go do a Google search, but it charges through its algorithm to people who are going to advertise it through them. The core product or service is free, it is called a freemium model. There are a lot of models like this, but then this is just for an understanding. Yes, just coming back to the question that Ritesh asked, the question was, yes, you know, the disadvantage is it only works when you want to make profits. And there are a couple of more questions. Yes, Kajal, it is the same question. It is the same book that you wrote. Amit Maheshwari, how to verify the target audience is right or not? So this is how I will again say, come again, to Amit, your answer the way you answered it. Over a period of year, you will realize this is my target audience. And yes, you can test your entire thing through 2 or 3 different models. For example, for a lot of people who have, let's say, you have a business which is software imports and exports. What you can do is you can try one thing in one market, another thing in another market, or same thing in 2 different geographies, but different target audiences. And you will realize which one responds well to you. This is what we call as A/B testing, A to B testing. So ये आपको समझ में आएगा. So you might realize, okay, this works well for with this set of customers. This might not work well for another set of customers. That you need to understand.
Anyone? Any questions? Okay.
Yeah, hi. I have one.
Yeah.
Yes.
So ideally, Ashfaq bhai, how often should one revisit this business model canvas? So हमें सिखाया जाता है कि when you start a business, you need to have a business model canvas. Okay. But then, as I understand it, it is because even our business is a live thing. It is not one static thing. So,
yes,
kitna frequently you need to, or one should ideally revisit this canvas and make changes, or maybe learn from it.
2 places, 2 times. I'll tell you when. First is whenever you're going to try to introduce new product or a service or some new value to the customers. Second, every time you're going to do your strategy.
Okay.
So I have a habit of doing strategy every year, and I revisit the business model canvas every year. Someone revisits the strategy every quarter. That is how it has to work out. So if you make a strategy every quarter, you have to work out. Well, that is only quarterly strategy. But then your long-term strategy is always on the on a longer part of it.
Got
so this is something you need to work out. Yes, Kajal, there is one more book that I would like to suggest to you, which is Design a Better Business. I forgot the name of the author out there, but he has developed 20 tools within a single book. Each tool would be again a different book altogether. But then there are 20 different tools on how to design a business in there. The name of the book is Design a Better Business.
Okay, I have one question, sir. So, example, what happened when we prepare BMC, we write everything to the best, like maybe with respect to infra, whatever, cost centers are there, whatever, revenue centers are there, we write, right? But what happened, it is not important to a mind that, everybody will have same preferences. Like normally some people would be working for profit, example. Some I'm talking about with respect to startups, right?
Yeah.
So somebody, have got target key, fine, I'll exit, somebody will have key, I'll have better valuation.
Yeah.
So everybody have got, different, perspective in mind or the target in mind, right? Somebody has got target, if I'll go long, 5, 7, 8, 20 years, I'll run the business. Somebody keeps very short duration for the business. So does this BMC, designing this BMC plays any role based on the preferences of, the person who is designing it?
Yes, some people might be biased and some people might think of a different way. For example, I'll give you, I'm a banker by profession. My job was banking. So I'll give you another example. The entire business model of Citibank is completely different than the business model of how HDFC Bank works out. Right. So now how do I define that? So you go to Citibank India, you will need at least 25 lakhs to 50 lakh rupees in a kitty to manage a portfolio. While a savings account in HDFC Bank can be open to 5,000, 10,000 rupees right now. Let's say it is 10,000 rupees right now. Just understand the difference, right? Now, when I'm making this 10,000, this entire value proposition, I know what is the cost that I'm going to bear, what kind of people I'm going to hire, and based on that, my entire proposition is going to come out. So every time I am going to understand what I want and what are my limitations, like why I am doing. I give an example of 2 different models. For example, Citibank. Citibank has a limitation; it cannot open too many branches in India because of RBI restrictions on multinational banks. But HDFC Bank, being an Indian bank, can open n number of branches anywhere it wants. Of course, along with the RBI guidelines, जहाँ पे उनको एक rural एक urban होती है तो 2 rural branch होता है. There are certain things, right? But every time they do this, they work out. Again, I'll give you another example. Let's say General Motors. Whenever General Motors has a different kind of thing, like even Audi is a part of that entire vertical. What do they do for Audi? It is going to be something really different. For a normal car, it is going to be something. Let's say Chevrolet, it is going to be entirely different. The entire canvas has changed now. within the same company. So a single company can use different canvases with different brand name and different perspective to create a business out of it. So, well, business model is for a particular product or a service, because that is for your, your value proposition. It is not for the entire business. That we need to understand.
Okay.
Yes, it is biased.
Yeah, there's a question from Amir. How one can measure scalability of business model? Right, Amir?
Yeah. So through a business model, the same the same thing was answered to Amit in the same fashion. You can try doing different things, and who responds faster to you is your target audience. That depends again from a business to business. For me, faster response time means 1 month, but for someone it is seconds. For someone it can be years, or for someone it can be days. So the faster the response time, I suggest a book in the same way, which is 0 to 1, and second, which I would say, is Lean Management by Eric Rice. He has wrote a book in terms of scaling it up in a very good way.
It's a very nice book.
Yeah.
Okay. See, if I put like this, an example, when we make this canvas model, how to verify whether whatever to the best competency person carries, he has developed or he has prepared his canvas. Now, how good optimally he can utilize those canvas and make a use of it in his business. For example, when we talk initially, we talk all good and all futuristic, very good, everything, right? What happens though, we'll be reviewing at different intervals, definitely.
Yeah.
Is it going to support a man with other infrastructures which are external in nature, not internal, rather? So, this is going to impact every time to you. Yes. So, does this VMC covers those things as well?
See, most of the parameters in the business that when you make a strategy, when you make something else for your business, most of the parameters that you consider are internal. If you check out, if I'm going to ask everyone to make your own, to do your own business SWOT or your own SWOT analysis, आप जितनी भी चीजें बताओगे ना, उसमें से ज्यादातर चीजें would be internally. आप बताओगे 80% problems will be internal and 20% will be external.
Yeah.
So let's focus on the internal part of it. Now, I'll tell you when to focus on the external part of it.
Right.
So in this strategy, once you have a business model canvas ready, during the strategy, in the strategy making part, you have to focus on the external portion, not in the business model canvas part of it.
Okay.
So when you are making a business model, because that is about creating your product or a service in a way for a particular target audience. And that does not require any external support. But then, yes, once you're going to make a strategy for it, you will need the external parameters again to be considered. Yes, the Lean Startup is the book that I was talking about. Amit. Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
Anyone who has got any questions to be, put to Ashfaq, I think things are going very good. So anyone has good questions, because this is a topic, trust me, when you want fund, from any organization, this business model canvas plays a very big role, because this becomes parameter for them to analyze your business and whether they need to invest in your business or not. I hope I'm right, Ashfaq, right? Yes, this becomes one of the very important parameters.
Yeah, and the best part is it makes you aware about your business and yourself. This is what your business is and this is how you're going.
Right.
And this helps you again in pricing your product or service.
Right. So anyone has got any questions which would like to ask anyone? Okay, one small question, though we have discussed about when to use this canvas, when not to use, situations when we should not use it.
Yeah, so that's an amazing, amazing thing. Okay, when not to use a business model canvas is when you're slogging in your life and you do not want to make a strategy. So when I say when you're slogging in your life, so when you started in the early days, you do not know what to work out, what will work out or not, what will not work out for you. So at that junction, either I think so business model, making a business model canvas doesn't make a sense. Yes, you can create a product or a service in certain ways, or you can have a basic plan of it. But then at that junction, I think so either once you think that your business is strategy ready, you can do an entire business model canvas for yourself. Because I am telling you, even if you do this entire business model canvas, it is going to change in 1.5 years once you start your business. or a service, anything. In 1.5 years, the entire canvas is going to change, which is in technical terms we call as a pivot. But then, yeah, it's going to change.
Right. Circumstances change, situations change. So many factors are there. It's market. So any other questions? Anyone which they want like to put across here?
I guess no one has understood whatever I said, and that's hands.
No, I think everybody understood so well, because initially the way you started and putting questions to directly us only. So I think this has helped people.
One
to
of the question I have is like,
yeah, please.
Yeah. So like we are in the electronics industry and right now mostly focused on the service business right now, but kind of like a production and development, things like that. But we are thinking about moving to the product based business rather than only service based business. So how effective kind of like beneficiary it will be to move to the product business only rather than like doing on the work on the both side.
All right. So Mahesh, I would always say, see, I don't know about much of the business. It would be too, foolish on me to tell you a lot of things. But then my understanding of businesses in the last, let's say, 27 years, to be very frank, once you already have a set business in, let's say, services, which you might not be able to scale up to the next stage, in terms of multiples, let's say 10x, 100x, or 500x. This product business is going to help you. But how much you innovate on the product side of it, the value proposition side of it, that customer comes begging to you that I need your product, boss, mujhe de do wo product, chahe kuch bhi ho jaye. That is the way I think. So that is where the business model canvas plays a very important role.
And you mentioned about a business canvas tool. So can you like tell us more detail about that tool? By the Alexander.
There is a book in the name of Business Model Generation.
Okay.
It was written by Alexander Osterwalder and Yves Pignor. And trust me, guys, I am being very honest. This is the book which is going to change the way you look at businesses. Any consultant, even there are guys with me who has an experience of 25 years in businesses, and who have been working with corporates for 20-25 years. I asked them to read this book first and give a presentation to me, and then they can go out and meet a client. This is how serious I am about those guys and this book. Why? Because they would understand how businesses work. And this book is pretty simple and an amazing book with very less words, but very, very well explained. The way I try to explain, it is almost similar to that. Okay. Of course, it's not as better than me.
We have a question again from Amir. Risk management should be a part of business model or not? A nice question, actually.
Yes. In fact, I'll tell you, this model generation, this activity is going to help you mitigate a lot of risks, Amir. If you do this, a lot of risk will be avoided. For example, if let's say I'll take example of Mahesh, who wants to work out with in product-based company, growth, business. Now, when I want to go into product-based business, there are two options with me. One is fixed pricing, another is scale-based pricing. Third is when I say scale-based pricing, in another term, it is a volume-based pricing. Which one to choose? Which one is going to help me in terms of my cost mitigation as well? This is just the financial part of it that I'm sharing, right? But then this is one part of risk, which is financial risk, which is huge. But let's say my delivery channel, if I do this, this is going to impact, let's say my products, my CRM or not, or everything. So doing this one activity will mitigate a lot of risks for you for a lifetime, which you would not even, imagine would have come and ruin your entire, let's say, 6 months of the business.
Okay. Another question from Preeti. When business is at scale-up stage, do you advise to revise BMC? I think this question is already covered, actually. But anyway,
yes, Preeti, you can, I think so. Aapki ek nazar as a businessman, I always feel one eye of any business person should always be on the business model canvas. If they are yahan se bhatak rahe ya nahi bhatak rahe, ye janna zaruri hai. Second part, I'll tell you. Every time you do a strategy or you do the business model activity, I'll share the screen once and then I'll share the entire course.
I'm sorry, we'll take one last question after that, please.
Yeah. So during this entire activity, once you're doing this, think about what do I do different in my activities so that my value proposition changes and which will help me generate more revenue or reduce my cost, or what do I do in my partners which is going to help me in my value proposition or my customer segment, how my customer relationships are going to be beneficial. This question should be in the mind of every one of us every time you do this thing. So it is not only about writing down everything on the paper, but challenging what seems to be obvious to you किसी भी टाइम के ऊपर, चाहे वो स्केल अप हो रहा हो, चाहे शुरू हो रहा हो, चाहे वो मल्टीप्लाई हो रहा हो, एनीथिंग दैट इज कमिंग टू योर माइंड, दिस इज व्हाट यू शुड टू कीप ऑन कि मैं यहाँ पे क्या चेंजेस लाऊं ताकि कस्टमर सेगमेंट अच्छे से खुश हो, मैं चैनल्स में क्या चेंज लाऊं ताकि मेरा डिलीवरी जब फास्ट हो जाए, मैं वैल्यू प्रोपोजिशन में क्या चेंज करूं ताकि ये कस्टमर, एक ही कस्टमर मुझे ज्यादा रेवेन्यू देके जाए, मे बी क्रॉस सेलिंग के थ्रू और मे बी इन डिफरेंट पर्सपेक्टिव. These all things we need to understand, and then you have to work out your entire business model.
Right.
You're welcome, Riddhi. Yeah.
So last question, anyone?
I think someone asked. Okay, it's a Preethi's question only.
Yeah, we have answered that question. So we'll move on to the next part of the session. Where I love to once summarize. What all discussion we had, right? So we actually discussed on the target customer in detail. We discussed on the product or services. We discussed on the delivery channel. That is, how either we can acquire a customer or we can make customer aware. We discussed on the CRM for repetitive business. We discussed on the part of a vendor, like we need to write a vendor for us. We discussed on the key resources, like it's a human resource, maybe infra which is required. So while a very interactive discussion which we had on these points, and finally we discussed on the BMC, that is business model canvas. In this we discussed two streams actually. One was revenue stream and other was cost stream we were talking about, in which he has covered when we talk about revenue, then we have customer relationship, customer segmentation, and the channel. And when we talk about cost stream, then we have got key resource, key activities, and key partners. And one more point we discussed was like, how frequently should we review our BMC, So technically, depending upon situation, we should review it. But however, if all things remain same, still, you should define at least a year, you should review your BMC. Otherwise, depending upon situation, yes, you can, definitely. And he has recommended few books to us, like recommended some books which we should go for. That is one, Design Better Business by Patrick, Lean Startup by Eric, and 0 to 1 by Peter. One book you mentioned in the last regarding tools. So somebody's asked also, could you please repeat the book name once again, please?
Yeah, so I'm just sharing the name of the book in
the chat box here. Okay, so I hope the last book which he has recommended is Business Model Generation by Alexander. So hope all participants, you all have gained a lot from this session. Hope a lot of things, and everyone will be implementing it now formally. Actually, like we were discussing, few are like managing it, but not in an organized way. But I hope now we are going to implement it in the organized way. And trust me, again, I'm repeating this thing: for raising fund, business model plays a vital role, as major evaluation analysis are based on it by investors. So, I would like to, thank our speaker for the day, Mr. Ashfaq Calcuttawala, for sharing his knowledge with us. Thank you, Ashfaq. It was a wonderful session, actually. And trust me, everyone has gained a lot in this session. There were, gaps. I think those gaps you have covered well. And it has been throughout a very interactive session. And to all the participants for being part of this knowledge series program and for your active participation. Trust me, when you all take part into it, it acts as catalyst and motivates us to have other new programs. Would like to thank again our president for giving us opportunity for conducting such, knowledge series program. And though today, the speaker is Ashfaq, but yes, he's a lead for this program. To all the charter members, to associate members, And to the board members, thanks for being part of the program. Would like to special thanks to our Associate Director, Mr. Hardik, for all the backend arrangements and support. Friends, we have another now knowledge series program scheduled on 4th of February 22. It is going to be taken by, speaker would be Nisha Anand, and she's going to speak on hiring the right talent. Again, this is also a burning issue, when we hire people and we do not hire right candidate or right person, right talent, then again, this acts as a disaster for the organization. So this is going to be another very important and very nice session on it. Would request everyone to, definitely Hardikji he'll send across all the schedule to you, but please do enroll as maximum possible for this program as well. And let's keep our finger crossed. If we can have it in physical, else we'll have to go for online session only. Anything else you want to add to it?
Yeah, I would just like to thank Ritesh for being there and moderating the entire session in an amazing way. You have been a blessing in disguise for every one of us. But then you have been an amazing moderator. And I would like to thank Hardik, who made this entire show possible in such a short time, because we were about to do this entire event physically, and yesterday we decided to do it offline, and yeah, he just rocked the entire thing. Thanks, Hardik, for being there always.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Ashfaq. Thank you, Hardik. Thank you, everyone, for being here. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So can we end the meeting, Hardik?
Sure.